In this tutorial, you'll learn how to create straight cut tool inserts by tracing objects in Tinkercad and cutting their silhouettes down into a base. As Tinkercad does not support raw image imports, we're going to begin by converting a top-down image into an SVG file to trace. An example image of a set of pliers is included in the tutorial files so you can follow along. Open a web browser and go to picsvg.com and then select Upload a Picture. Find the example pliers image on your computer and open it. After a few moments, you'll see a preview of the SVG file next to the original. Select the different filter options to see which one gives the clearest outline of your image. SVGs are not lifelike, but as long as the outline is accurate, they work well for tracing. Make sure to compare the SVG with the original image before moving on. The Edge 2 option seems to give a clear outline of the pliers, so we'll go with that and download the SVG. In the next step, we'll import the SVG into Tinkercad and trace it to create a shape that can later be cut into a boundary box. Start a new design and change the camera to orthographic. This helps remove perspective distortion, which is important when tracing from reference images. Then go to Import and open the SVG file you created in PrintLab. We'll rescale this accurately in a moment, but for now, set the length to 200 so it fits comfortably in the workspace. Complex SVGs can take a moment to load in Tinkercad, so be patient, but after a short delay, the shape will appear in the workspace. We'll now rotate the model to be perfectly straight and scale it to the correct size. Drag a box hole onto the workplane. We measured the overall length in real life as 162.5mm, so we'll set the hole to this length and scale the model to match. Head to a top view and move the hole so the edge is roughly in the center of the pliers. To move objects with more freedom, turn off the snap grid. We now want to rotate the pliers so they're as straight as possible. Use the vertical edge of the box hole as a reference and aim to cut through the center of the pliers. As you can see, dragging the rotation handles makes it difficult to achieve small adjustments. So let's type in a small angle such as -0.2 degrees instead. Try small rotation values and recenter the model until it looks straight. Hold Shift and use arrow keys to line up the center of the pliers with the box hole edge. Now that the model is straight, resize it so the overall length matches the box hole. Hold Shift while dragging the scale handles to avoid distorting the proportions. Our SVG file is now prepared and we can delete the box hole and start tracing around it. Place the extrude sketch shape onto the workplane and this will open the sketch environment. Zoom into the tip of the pliers and start tracing along one side from just left of the center using the line tool, leaving a small gap of around 1 to 2mm. Each square on the grid represents 1mm, so use this as a rough guide. The handles are better suited to curves, so switch to the smooth curve option and continue tracing. Try to click only at the start and end of each curve rather than placing lots of points. You don't need to trace all the way to the top as there's already enough surface area to hold the pliers in place. There's also no need to trace the other half as we'll mirror the shape later. Make sure you trace past the center line and then close the shape with a straight line. Click in an empty space to deselect everything, then double click the sketch to edit it. The sketch points will appear, allowing to move points or drag the handles to refine the curves. Spend a moment tidying up the outline before moving on. The most important thing to remember is to not get too close to the outline or intersect it. Once you're happy, you can finish the sketch and you'll see a solid shape appear in the workspace. We'll now duplicate this shape and this will create an exact copy on top of the original. Move the copy over to the side while holding Shift to keep it on the same axis, and then mirror it as shown here. Hold down Shift again, and drag the mirrored shape so it covers the other half of the pliers. Use the top view to ensure the shapes fully cover the outline of the pliers, as well as intersect each other. We can now hide the SVG by selecting it and clicking the light bulb icon. Then select both remaining shapes in the workspace and union group them together. Finally, check the depth is 10mm, which matches the real-life depth of the pliers, and then turn the shape into a hole. The next step is to create a boundary box, which will act as a solid base that we'll cut into using the pliers profile. Move the pliers shape to the side, and then drag a box onto the workplane. Give it a length of 180mm, a width of 85mm, and a height of 12mm. We'll now perform the cutout into the boundary box. Select both shapes and activate the Align tool. Click once on the box to lock it in position, and then select the relevant nodes to embed the profile centrally on the top surface. Union group the shapes together to perform the cut. In the final step, we'll add a finger slot to make the pliers easy to pick up. Drag a cylinder hole onto the workplane. Give it a length and a width of 22, and a height of 10mm. Hold down Alt while clicking and dragging the cylinder to make a copy, and then drag in a box hole. Set the height to 10mm, the width to 22, and the length to 50. To help position these shapes, turn the snap grid back onto 1mm and head to a top view. Position the first cylinder so it sits central on one of the major blue grid lines. Move the box hole so the left edge sits on the same major grid line, and move the remaining cylinder so its center line sits on the right edge of the box. Select the three hole shapes, and bundle group them together. Align the grouped holes so they're embedded into the top surface of the box, and make them central. Hold down Shift and drag the hole downwards so the slot goes over the handles. Then union group the whole model together to complete the design.